Hey everyone, sorry for the late start. I thought I was streaming just back a while ago, but actually I wasn't. But I luckily catch it quick enough. I did start a bit late, but okay. So here's the page I'm going to be working with. This was not the actual page I was planning to do, but when I started to go, I realized I had a problem with the rhythm of the original pages because this is the one I was doing yesterday. This is the page for this is page number 6, and this jump a little bit quick from the action mm, to the resolution, and there was no space for breathing for the viewer to actually know what is going on, and we didn't have a proper introduction to the main character because we see her in the previous pages, but we don't know her face. So I thought this was important so we can actually see her face and see what's going on. So this took me like 20 minutes to doing this page, but I'm encountering another rhythm problem. That I don't know if this panel should be here because it makes more sense for purposes of spacing to be right here, because obviously we read from the left to the right. This is not a Japanese manga, because that is way confusing to work with, for me at least. So I think I'm going to erase this panel to put it right here, because we need a proper transition from this last panel that they are getting to the spaceship, to the stranded spaceship, and just suddenly her with her face uncovered doesn't make a lot of sense. It's right. So I'm going to be making some arrangement. Oh, by the way, can you hear me with no problem? There is no feedback, no problem, right? Let me know, anyone in the chat. I don't think it's anyone in the chat, but I hope YouTube will start to show this to someone eventually. This is episode number 3. Yes, because that will sting me if I don't move her from here. So I just need to copy this one. I don't think I'm doing a perfect job copying this area, but it's not about Copying exactly is about copying the feeling of the panel. That is way more important than the actual technique. And now we can erase this part. The only problem is that this part I already did it with the mechanical pencil, and that will going to leave some marks that they will definitely catch the scanner. So now I can move the face of the head. Therefore, little friend over here. To the side. And that looks much better. I need to have over here in the background his companion. I don't know. No, he will not be to the side. I will leave this space for her to breathe. We'll make him just a bit in the background. This will be like the side weight of the snow. It's a really big pile of snow. He is considerably larger than than her, so he needs to be bigger. Good. Yep, this looks really good. So I will be starting to ink this beautiful page. Let me see if someone over here can go. No, well, no problem. Let's get our hands on the job. Okay, so for the big lines, I usually use this really thick guy. This is a 1.0 thickness line. Fine liner, sorry. So let's get on with it. I like to do as much as possible in traditional media, but there are a lot of things that are way too complicated to handle on traditional media, just like the dot work typical of manga. Oof, that is way too expensive. Those little sheets of dots cost like €5 the sheet, and you use one sheet like in one page easily. I need to wait a little bit for it to just dry. It will be a really bad idea for me to jump right into this without some waiting time. Okay, so for the last one, I will use this small one because that really large is just too cumbersome for these little lines. Let me see if I can just go a bit higher to show you this in a really slightly better angle, so I can show you the fuller picture. But that will reduce the quality of the line, right? Now let's go down again. Yeah, that's much better. What I need to do is just take this off and I can move freely. Okay, so I need to make this final lines. Wow. And that's it. Okay, so let's get rolling. I normally would use this beautiful baby boy, the G-Pen. I really like the G-Pen, but it's getting really hot in Spain and in Madrid, and the temperatures are evaporating the stupid ink. So it's not rolling correctly, it's getting thicker. So I can use it properly. I will need to buy a new ink when the summer is over, because it's not like I don't like the fine liners, but they lack certain personality. They are always having this particular type of line. With the G Pen, I can make variations of the thickness of the line during the actual process, and that is very helpful and very satisfying too. And there are ways for making the fine liner look a little bit lighter, but not so much thicker. So it's a lot harder to make proper line work variations. I guess there is a way with a brush, but I'm not that confident with a brush. That takes a lot of control. And eventually, after I erase the lines, I will need to make a revision of the line work, because most likely there are a lot of unconnected lines that I can catch properly because of the pencils. The pencils help me visualize a close line that is not close, and sometimes that is perfectly fine, but that is good when it's intentional, that you leave some open lines in the right spots, but it's not ideal to have it on, you know, random areas where it doesn't make any sense. Just make it look like, well, you just didn't close the lines. like this, just look a lot more, makes a lot more sense. I think I can make it a little bit closer so you can see better what I'm doing. Of course, I will need to be moving the page a lot more, but I have no problem. I just need to be conscious when the frame gets away from the main spot. And I haven't inked her face because that area needs the thinner outliner. I could jump with this one, but I wouldn't feel that confident doing that. And this one is Copic, and it's so satisfying to use. Actually, what really is incredibly satisfying is the pages that I'm using. I'm using the famous the little pages. These ones are size B4. They are decently larger. They are not as large as the traditional size for comic book, but they are really close. Yeah, that's it. I can continue with the rest. This is actually not a bad idea. I accidentally grabbed the 1.0, the one that I use for the thicker lines, but if I'm kind of careful, I might be able to, you know, use it in a way that maybe I can make some thin lines and some thicker ones if I'm just really careful. No, I don't. No, I need to use the 0.2. This is looking really good. Now I need to make some little details and making some shadows effect. and adding some texture. The texture, it's quite interesting because that is one of those things that you could not do, but it adds so much depth to the overall idea that I think is really great to just take the time to make some textures. And overall is the way I like to handle this manga. I will be quite loose with some of the strokes I make in some parts, but I will be very careful with adding the right textures to the right places because it helps so much with adding depth and adding the feel of the weight of the stuff. And it's really important to take time to just look where you can do those deep shadows that will help to create depth. I'm still choosing if I'm going to fully ink her. Her? I think I should actually. I think I should add some full ink on her hair. I think it's looking really nice. Mm. Just adding some textures over here because that is the kind of things that help you bring your drawing to the life. Some lines over here. This is looking really good, don't you think? I know I'm talking to the void, but in the hopes that someday somebody will see this and will get something useful out of it. Let's add some shadow over here. And that's it. I think this is a good place to stop this page because there's still a lot of work and I will probably finish this one tomorrow. So you can join me later. Well, you can join me tomorrow to finish this page. And that will be it. So thanks a lot for showing up. I know there is no one right now in the actual live stream, but I hope someone see this eventually and get something really great out of it. So thanks a lot for joining and keep drawing, everyone. Goodbye.